new travel restrictions as the coronavirus continues to spread. How this could affect the nation.
It has been a month since SU students started protesting in light of racist graffiti on campus. Will the transition to online learning cause the protests to stop?
The upcoming Democratic debate set for Arizona will be moved due to fears of the coronavirus. Will a live audience be in attendance?
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening, and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm William Cronin.
And I'm Samantha Dominique.
Last night, President Trump addressed the nation from the Oval Office about the coronavirus outbreak. The announcement comes after the World Health Organization declares a global pandemic. He says travel from Europe to the U.S. and restrictions on cargo will be suspended for 30 days starting Friday at midnight. The statement caused mass confusion, prompting President Trump to clarify on Twitter.
He tweeted, quote, "The restriction stops people, not goods," meaning a stoppage of travel and not transatlantic trade in goods. The travel ban targets 26 European countries. However, the UK and Ireland are not included. As of this morning, there are over 1,400 positive coronavirus cases in 45 states and Washington, D.C. It is unknown if President Trump will sign a disaster or emergency declaration.
This afternoon, SUNY Oswego Director of Student Health Services Angie Brown released a statement to the campus community. The email says there will be new procedures in place for students to get care from health services. Now, the health center will not be accepting walk-ins. Instead, all students must schedule an appointment. Additionally, students must answer travel screening questions prior to their visit. Brown says she urges students to exercise proper health practices and take precautions to avoid spreading germs.
Monroe County now has its first confirmed case of the coronavirus. A man flew from Rome to New York's JFK Airport on Tuesday, then drove to his Rochester home. He is in isolation, and according to the county's Department of Health, he is recovering well. Monroe Public Health Director Dr. Michael Mendoza says, quote, "Although the risk to our community remains relatively low at this time, and we still only have one individual in isolation, we must also acknowledge that now is a time to relook at our habits."
Syracuse University has been receiving a lot of attention due to multiple racist events that have taken place on campus. It's officially been a month since protesters have occupied buildings, and they don't plan on stopping there.
Syracuse University has been under a lot of heat since November of 2019 as the campus encounters several issues involving hate crimes and racist incidents. With an ongoing chain of events, students have chosen to take matters into their own hands with an anonymous student-run organization called #NotAgainSU, which have appeared to be vocalizing their demands after racist and anti-Semitic graffiti was found on campus during the fall.
And we think that this is a safe place and a place where I can trust to have a really good education and have good relationship and just good experience in this country and in this university, but turns out it was just not it.
NotAgainSU has been occupying Crouse-Hinds since February 17th and plan to not stop from there. They have been very active on social media trying to spread awareness to other areas and people to help shine a light on the issue.
So I heard about the hate crimes on this campus from social media. I saw NotAgainSU and I figured it was related to the fraternity that got kicked off campus a bit ago for anti-Semitic things. And to my surprise, it was actually something different this time, and there was more racism and hatred happening.
With new vandalism found on school grounds as of last week surrounding the coronavirus and making racist innuendo about Chinese people, this has been their 9th incident this year, and students still demand answers.
You will regret not saying nothing, and when you don't say anything, you're setting up our next generation for failure. So I'm a junior, right? And most of us are juniors and seniors, so we're not fighting for us. We're fighting for the next generation. We're fighting for our kids. We're fighting for the freshmen. Like, you have to speak not only for you, but for the people that's coming after us.
As of now, the school has addressed some student concerns by taking mandated diversity training, addressing the free speech policies, and having tightened security and cameras across campus. I'm Adriana Lowe, reporting for WTOP 10.
With the recent decision to go online following spring break due to the coronavirus outbreak, it is unclear how these protests will continue once students leave campus.
This weekend would have been the nation's biggest celebration of St. Patrick's Day parades, but the parades across New York State have either been postponed or canceled. Areas such as New York City, Rochester, Albany, and as of this morning, Syracuse have either officially canceled or postponed their parades to a later date. Governor Andrew Cuomo announced the decision yesterday in hopes limiting large gatherings and contain the virus. Cuomo says he is aware of the disappointment, but hopes everyone will consider the public health and safety of the residents of New York.
Governor Andrew Cuomo released today that gatherings that hold more than 500 people are banned from this point on until further notice. Due to the rising numbers of coronavirus cases, Cuomo insists limiting close contact of people in enclosed places to help slow the virus. Not only does Cuomo's ban affect large events, but small ones as well. He advises other events to decrease their capacity by 50% until the virus is contained. This order will take effect tomorrow at 5 p.m.
We're getting FDA approval to do what's called automated testing, which could increase our capacity by the thousands. We could actually be up to about 5,000 per day next week if the FDA approval works and everything works.
The National Guard is in New Rochelle, the heart of the coronavirus outbreak in New York State. To stop the spread of the virus and assist residents in this time of panic, about half a dozen members of the National Guard has been stationed inside the contaminated area, proposed by Governor Andrew Cuomo. They are helping deliver food, cleaning, and sanitizing facilities to the community. Officials are still working to contain the situation.
Coming up later tonight, coronavirus continues to disrupt not just everyday life, but the presidential election. How will it impact the Democratic debate?
And actor Tom Hanks and his wife have tested positive for the coronavirus. What they are doing to prevent passing it to others.
Now, let's take a quick look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Dan Hummel. What can we expect, Dan?
Well, I expect some rain to move into the area tonight. That shows up very nicely on our weather headlines. Like I said, rain moves in tonight into tomorrow, but that will clear up as we go through tomorrow. A slight warm-up to start next week. Here is a look at your almanac taken from Syracuse. As you can see, it got to a temperature of 53 degrees. Your average high was 41, average low was 24, and your record high was 68 back in 2012, and a record low of -10 back in 1948. Here's a look at your temperature map across the area. As you can see, generally, temperatures in the 40s. It's a very mild night, and these temperatures will be moderating as we go through the night and we get with the rain. And here is a look at your overnight planner. As you can see, the rain starts to move in around 3 a.m. as the temperatures start to grab. So as you're leaving campus tomorrow, it will be a little rainy, but it will clear up toward the afternoon. So after the break, we get a full forecast from Storm Team 10 Chief Meteorologist Liam Healy.
Welcome back to the break. I'm Storm Team 10 Chief Meteorologist Liam Healy. A quick look over a pretty dark campus tonight. This is one last quick look we're going to take out as we go before. This is unfortunately our last weathercast of the semester. Clouds and 49 degrees tonight. Not really seeing too much of that on the sky cam. But current temperatures across the area, well, maybe 49 degrees right here in Oswego as you look up towards Watertown, 45 degrees. Down towards Phoenix, looking at 47, even 50 down there towards Williamson, or Lyons, excuse me. Looking at our current radar satellite tonight, we are rather clear, but that story is going to change as we head into tomorrow. Taking a look at the big picture here, we're watching for this frontal system begin making its way through the area, already bringing snow to parts of northern Michigan, looking over towards some rain down towards Cincinnati. We're going to set this into motion here, getting onto your futurecast starting out at Thursday, 9 p.m. tonight. We're going to move into action. We start to zoom in a little bit into our area, seeing just how the frontal systems are going to be making their way through. Bringing some rain by early 3 a.m. That's when you're going to start to see those first couple sprinkles there. As you head into later in the day on Friday, we're going to start to see more and more heavy pockets of rain. You really see that in these oranges, these yellows, some of these darker greens. That's where we're going to see those heaviest rains, seeing that pooling, the ponding. And as this front makes its way through, we're also going to see a quick drop in our temperatures as you head through the day. Looking towards the noon hour, things are going to start cooling off quickly, but at least that rain is on the way out. It's not going to be a cold rain by any means. Remember, by 9 a.m., we're at 51 degrees, so it is going to be one of those warmer rains as you head through the day. Friday by 5 p.m., we see a little bit of a lake effect rain situation setting up. That's after that cold front makes its way through, drops off a lot of cold air, kicks up that lake response. So maybe just a late season lake effect event for you there. By Saturday, 12 a.m., that's all cleared out of the area. Just a few lingering clouds as we do clear out. High pressure begins to build in for your Saturday. That's going to lead to a quick, dry, and calm weekend, though we are going to watch another system to start passing off to our south here. We're not going to watch really anything to affect from that. Maybe just a few extra clouds heading in to your weekend. For the next 24 hours, like I said, we see that quick temperature drop. You can see it right here on this graph, 9 a.m. That's when the front goes through. Look at that, by 12 p.m., 44 degrees, and way down to 40 by 9 p.m. on Saturdays. Keep in mind, as you head through the day, you're going to want to bundle up. And taking a quick check of our weather wheel here, looking at winds, it's going to be a windy day on top of all the rain and that quick temperature drop. So make sure if you have that umbrella out there, it might just blow away. So maybe just stick with the raincoat tomorrow. Quick check of our 7-day forecast, starting out with the weekend, looking at Friday, seeing that rain. Saturday is going to be that breezy day. Sunday, cooling off to 31 degrees. For the rest of the 7 days, we're looking at Monday, getting back up into the 40s, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Really starting to see that warming trend with maybe some more rain by the end of the week. We'll have more news and sports coming up for you right here on WTOP 10.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. The DNC announced they will move Sunday's Democratic debate from Arizona to Washington, D.C. This comes after concerns of the coronavirus in hopes that it will reduce cross-country travel and spreading of illness. Public access to the event has been denied, as well as replacing Univision's Jorge Ramos with the network's Ilya Calderon after possible contraction of the virus. The debate will take place from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern this Sunday.
As the debate is moved due to coronavirus concerns, President Trump follows lead by canceling several upcoming public events. According to the White House, Trump will no longer travel to events in Colorado and Nevada this week. The cancellations come after his Oval Office address. He reiterates experts' warnings to avoid large crowds, especially for the elderly.
The first American celebrities have been diagnosed with coronavirus. Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson, posted on Instagram yesterday saying that they had been feeling, quote, a bit tired, like we had head colds, and some body aches, end quote. Hanks and his wife were in Australia preparing for production for an upcoming film about the life of Elvis Presley. He says the both of them will stay isolated as long as public health and safety requires. Both Hanks and Wilson are 63 years old.
A lot of concerts and other entertainment events are being postponed or canceled, most of them due to the coronavirus. But not all of them. David Daniel explains in the Hollywood Minute.
Celine Dion has postponed concerts in Washington, D.C. and Pittsburgh for health reasons, but it's not what you think. The singer's official Facebook page noted she had persistent cold symptoms and her doctors instructed her to rest. But, quote, after testing her, the doctors concluded that her virus was not related to COVID-19. She's expected to resume her Courage World Tour March 24th in Denver.
I think it's important to have all people represented in entertainment.
John Boyega is representing. The Star Wars star has made a deal with Netflix to develop non-English language films about West and East Africa. Boyega says his production company, Upper Room, will partner with the streaming service on original feature films focused on African stories.
No one has the correct idea of perfect timing, but...
Jason's out, Woody's in. Woody Harrelson is taking over one of the lead roles in The Man from Toronto. Statham had been in talks to star with Kevin Hart in the action comedy about a deadly assassin and a perpetual bungler who are mistaken for each other. Filming is set to start this spring with a planned release date of November 20th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
That was David Daniel reporting. Celine Dion and her team posted to Facebook her current condition, updates and apologies to fans and those who have purchased tickets to her upcoming shows.
The coronavirus has many people on alert and avoiding public spaces, but blood donation centers are urging Americans to come by. The need is as great as ever. Nikki Hauser looks at COVID-19's impact on blood donations.
Bill Durnall knows all too well how important giving blood is.
She was kept alive by blood donations for quite a while.
His late wife had leukemia and he has been giving blood ever since, now saying it makes a difference for so many.
Whether it's virus or surgery or accidents, people need blood.
Durnall joining the Red Cross and the Blood Connection in urging people to donate blood as fears of the coronavirus, on top of people getting the flu, have led to a decline in donations. But the Red Cross says there's nothing to worry about.
So far, we haven't found any data to support the fact that corona is transmitted through, the blood system or anything like that.
The real concern is that less donors will lead to blood shortages, dangerous for anyone with a serious condition or in an emergency who desperately needs blood. Another donor remembering a time like this.
When I was in Afghanistan, a couple of my buddies had got shot and they needed blood, because I lost so much from my wound.
Those who showed up, proud and hoping others will do the same.
To me, it's just one of those things. It's a tiny little way I can give back and help people.
I don't consider myself a hero by wearing a uniform. I consider myself a hero by doing something that may save somebody else's life.
Donate, you must show your driver's license or two forms of identification, be in good health, and weigh at least 110 pounds.
Italian Foreign Minister Luigi Di Maio is increasing the lockdown on the country as infections top 9,000 and more than 1,000 deaths. In 24 hours, the death toll has spiked from 23% to 1,016 deaths in the country. Everything has been closed other than pharmacies and food markets. Maio says he hopes that 60 million residents will be the first people to overcome the virus. The lockdown will remain in effect until at least April 3rd, but won't be lifted until the virus is contained.
Has been denied medical treatment. The 65-year-old woman was turned away from 4 different hospitals. An unnamed nurse from one of the hospitals told the Bolivian newspaper, quote, "We are not going to allow this woman's entry because this hospital does not have the conditions to handle a coronavirus case," end quote. According to the Santa Cruz Department of Health, the woman is residing in a government building. Coming up in sports, John Purdick.
John, can you give us a quick preview?
Yes, of course. Coming up tonight, some major leagues and tournaments undergo cancellations. There's a dangerous atmosphere in the Utah Jazz locker room, and the Oswego State hockey players find a new home at the professional level. That and much more when you come back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. Welcome back to WTOP 10. My name's John Purdick, and I'm here with your sports update. Let's get right into it. Due to the latest developments in the coronavirus epidemic, multiple sports leagues have decided to cancel their seasons and/or tournaments. Starting with the NBA, as of yesterday, March 13th, league officials had confirmed that all regular season games following Wednesday have been canceled until further notice. More basketball has also been canceled, with the NCAA March Madness tournament, along with future NCAA spring championships, closing as well. Other major leagues have similar responses to the virus, with the MLB delaying opening day and the NHL suspending its regular season. Also, other news of the NBA, just as Oklahoma City Thunder and the Utah Jazz were set to tip in Chesapeake Bay Arena in Oklahoma, Jazz forward Rudy Gobert tested positive for the coronavirus. Right before tip-off, the referees were made aware of the news, and the whole stadium went under quarantine. Later on, the players and fans left the postponed game. Another Jazz star, Donovan Mitchell, became the second player on the roster to test positive. Players on the team apparently mentioned that Gobert was not careful with the sickness in the locker room. Highly contagious. Oswego State men's hockey players have found their next rink as the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs have signed defenseman Tyler Curry and forward Joey Molinaro to standard contracts. The Dogs have also picked up forward Derek Brown on an amateur tryout contract. In their 2019-20 season, Curry put up 3 goals and 8 assists, and Molinaro knocked 4 goals and 10 assists. Another Laker forward, Michael Gillespie, signed with the Worcester Railers of the ECHL, who will be making his professional debut next weekend. On to more women's sports. Oswego State women's lacrosse is set to host the undefeated Utica College on March 14th, looking to turn their record positive. The Lakers came out victorious, and they blew out Lycoming College 19-2 with Cameron Sherman tallying 11 points on the day. They outshot Wyoming 23-6 shots on goal. Utica comes off an impressive victory, beating Morrisville State College 20-8. Oswego State will look to continue their high-scoring attack, what should be a tight battle on Saturday. With all this NBA news, we still had a game on Wednesday night with the New York Knicks coming into Atlanta, with Trae Young having a supremely stellar game in this one as the Knicks are on the fast break as the Knicks get the alley-oop to go right there. RJ Barrett on the move, getting the tough layup to go. Moving on into the fourth quarter here, Trae Young with the sweet crossover gets the step-back three to go. Trae Young is rolling, and here he is again doing a little pick and roll with Kevin Huerter. Three-pointer is good at the top of the key. Hawks on the move again right at the end of the fourth quarter. 20 minutes left. Trae Young gets the and one layup to go. We are going to overtime. Look at the ice in his veins, folks, as we move on to overtime. Knicks swinging the ball around in overtime. Julius Randle gets the three to go. Randle, top scorer for the Knicks on the night. Trae Young, intercepted by the Knicks, gets the lob to go to Robinson. And oh my, this is quite the overtime here. Last NBA action of the season, Vince Carter there, getting the last shot. 22-year career, he gets the last shot. Great way for Vince Carter to go out on a possible last regular season NBA game for him.
Before we close out our last night of news for the semester, we want to take a moment to say thank you to all the seniors here at WTOP who have dedicated so much of their time and effort to creating some amazing content. Take a look.
We want to say a special thank you to News Director Shelby Vasluth, Executive Producer Tara O'Donovan, and Chief Meteorologist Liam Healy.
Now, before we go, tell us a little bit about sports this weekend.
Well, women's lacrosse on Saturday. Utica's coming into Oswego 4-0. Lakers 2-2, so I'm looking forward to a good matchup right there.
Awesome.
And how's weather looking?
Well, looking towards this weekend, it's going to start out wet on Fridays for those of you heading home or just on the road. It's going to be a wet and messy start to your morning there. But for the rest of the weekend, we start to clear out, though it is going to be just a little bit chilly out there.
All right, sounds good. Well, being seniors is our last show, but it's okay.
I want to say thank you to everyone who's watched for the past 3 years that I've been here, and I'm just so glad I got to work with all of you guys here at TOP.
This was my first time anchoring news, and I'm so grateful for our great news director, Shelby Vasluth, to give us the opportunity. Mom and Dad, hello.
It's been an absolutely honoring experience to work with these seniors. They've helped us out all so much throughout the course of our early broadcast career, so big thanks to them.
That'll take us out. That's our last WTOP 10 Nightly Newscast.
Thank you for watching, and have a great night, everyone.